What is going on? Welcome to another episode of the Dent Digest live show. What up, Manny?
Yo, what's up, Ryan? What's up, everyone? Josh, Jeff, what's up, everyone? Man, I was just looking at this car, and when they dropped it off today, I was just like, oh, Manny, it's just like, we're really trying to save this one. It's a, it's a special, it only has like 200 miles. It's a Mustang Bullet. It's just a car. I don't know.
It's just a Mustang.
It's just a Mustang, bro.
See, if you came to my area is considered Mustang Lane. There's more Mustangs in this town.
Oh, really?
And everybody's like, it's the best. It's the best. You got to take care of this. And I'm like, it's a Mustang. It's still a Mustang. They're easy to work on, though. They're easy. They're easy.
Not too bad.
It's better than a Tesla.
Yeah, so they even had like a big poster in the back. It's like, oh, he opens up the truck. Oh, look, poster. I'm like,
does it have the bullet like emblems and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh,
it does.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But something about these special Mustangs though is the colors. Like,
well, they only made that in that green. It's from the movie.
Yeah, that's what they were telling me too. But I also had a 302.
Yeah.
And it was like a funky color too. It was like silver, and it had like the roof was red. It had some like red stripes, red wheels. I'm like, who works in the color department for all these special cars? All these special Mustangs.
I mean, they got to make it different to make it spend your money.
Yeah. Other than that, how are you, man?
I'm good. It's been we're busy, dude. You know what I mean? It's that's it. Josh is on it, dude. Steve McQueen car. He's on it.
Yeah.
The Dent Reaper's in here. What's up, guys? What's up, Lewis? So, it's just business is right at that point. Like, we're almost to spring, and the shit's gonna hit the fan. Like, you just see it just getting ready to hit that fan.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for spring. You know what I mean? We've got a lot going on. I got an event next weekend for one of the guys that I support, so we've got to go to that.
Oh, nice. What kind of event is this?
It's just like a race, kind of a car show race event. So It should be pretty cool. I was one of the sponsors of the event, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
So it should be cool. It'll be the first time that I get to set up our whole new event set up with our tent, and I've got a hood that's going on the Carbon Tech hood stand that's half dented up, and then the other half has all the different paint protection film on it, the stealth and the clear and the black. So it should be cool. It should be a good event. And I've got a bunch of giveaways.
Yeah, it's great to be a part of that, man. I mean, it is good for business, especially you have the shop, you provide all these services. It's the best thing. That's awesome, man.
It should be good. And then the weekend after that, I got chosen to be a judge in the Maryland State Body Shop competition. So it's all the kids in the VOTEC schools that go for these competitions and win all these scholarships to colleges.
Oh.
They win money, they win scholarships. So they pick local people in the state that are in this somewhat industry. I'm the only PDR guy.
Uh-oh. You're gonna be the most picky one.
I said to the guy from the state, I said, I'm not a body guy. Like, I don't spread mud. I just save cars from getting mud on them. I don't paint cars. He goes, Ryan, yeah, but you're going to see everything. I said, yeah, I pick shitty body work out all day long. So,
yeah, just don't be bringing your PDR light, man.
But it's no
one's going to pass.
For me, it was cool just because I'm like, that's kind of cool. You know what I mean? I went through and they have very strict guidelines. So, we have to get there an hour before it even starts.
Okay.
And then we have to wear no company information And then we have to eat, like we can't be with the students.
Oh,
So it's very strict, but I think it'll be cool for me to maybe build those relationships with those tech schools.
Yeah.
To try to maybe get a program to where I can get some help. You know what I mean? See if guys want to get into this industry. So it's a pretty cool thing. It's pretty cool.
Wow, look at that. That's cool.
So,
man. Before you know, it's like Professor Ryan Shutt.
No, that's not. I'm not a teacher. No
PDR Professor Ryan Shutt.
No way. No way. But
that's cool though, man.
It's a cool opportunity. It's something different.
Absolutely. You know, I noticed that every week now you are wearing a different company shirt.
I'm trying to just not wear an RPS free hug shirt.
Whose shirt is this?
This is my buddies over at the Rag Company.
Oh, okay.
I love those guys. Eli and the boys. I mean, that's where we buy all of our microfibers from. So they sent it. It's actually a pretty cool shirt. A little Jason. So I buy a ton of rags from them. So just because we go through, I don't know how many. So
I could just hear John Vidine right now. You gotta wear Dent Reaper shirt.
I need to get that new Dent Reaper hat. He makes a killer Dent Reaper
You would look good in purple, Ryan.
So I'm already excited. I was talking to Kevin Bird the other day, and he's like, "Hey, we got a meeting coming up about MTE." I'm like, "Okay, just let me know what day." So I'm excited to hear the early news of stuff that's going on, and because obviously, technically, I'm involved, which means you're involved. You just don't know yet.
So I mean, is Vegas happening? My wife was just asking me the other day, like,
as of now, yes.
Okay.
So I don't know all the details yet. It's still early in the game. So
it really is, yeah.
And Kevin knows more than most people. So I'm excited to make the PDR row at MT next level.
Oh.
So I'm excited about that. So I think it'll be good. We'll actually have some internet this year, maybe. The dial-up just didn't do it this past year. So
if you guys don't know what we're talking about, we try to do the show at MTE in Florida, and the internet was just bad. Anyone who watched it, thank you, because I tried watching it myself, and it was just bad. It was just like it kept freezing, like
I've been watching it for a couple of weeks because I let the show run at the shop on the TV, like in the waiting room, and I'm like, God, it was such a good show too. That's the worst part. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shout out to everyone in the house.
We got to get our guest on. We've got our weekly joke we got to do.
Why don't we bring our guests and let them rock with the joke?
And if anybody,
I'm gonna fail.
If anybody in here is bored, April 15th, we're having our 1-year anniversary at my shop. So,
by the way, I just gotta let you know on the show, I'm not gonna be able to make it.
See, I told Alex. Alex is like, "You think Manny's coming?" I'm like, "Manny ain't coming. He ain't coming."
It's Easter Sunday, and the wife was like, "Dude,
it's the weekend after."
Sunday, like
it's the weekend after.
It's the second week.
The 15th. Good try. Gotcha live.
No,
Easter's the weekend before. It's okay. You don't
I'll get back to you. I love you. But yeah, anyone who's nearby, Ryan, please make it.
We got quite a few guys coming, so I'm excited. April Fools, look at that. Jesus. So let's get these guys on.
Yeah, man.
Let's get them in. And then we got our weekly joke. Maybe these 3 guys can help you out.
Yes, because there's no hopes in me.
We picked an easy one this week. So one of these guys they're going to get it.
Yep.
So what's up, Dominic?
Hey, what's going on?
Mr. Dominic.
We got Brandon.
What's up, guys?
We got Jake.
Hey.
These guys are PDR Canada. What's going on, guys?
Yeah, PDR Canada
Not too
in the
much.
house. So why don't you guys just introduce yourself real quick? Who I don't want to say it. So Dominic, you're the dad. You're the boss. And then Brandon and Jake, your 2 sons.
Yep.
And then all of you guys push.
Yeah, you got it. There's actually 2 more, but they're working right now. So
Smart guys. What time is it there?
7 p.m.
Wow.
Early still.
Okay. Yeah. So an hour ahead. That's awesome, man. So Jake, Brandon, Dominic. So we have a weekly joke. I've failed numerous times. So Ryan's gonna let the joke know, and you guys could help me out because
It's an easy
Yeah,
one.
maybe we'll see.
Manny's usually not much help on this one, but it's okay. So, what is the difference between a hippo and a Zippo? Like the Zippo lighter. I'm going to give you that.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one.
This is my kid picking these.
Dominic, come on. I see you thinking.
His brain is turning. So what is the difference between a hippo and a Zippo?
Oh, man.
Come on, guys. There's 37 people in here right now, and somebody's got to come up. And no Googling. That's against the law.
Brandon, Jake.
Yeah, I don't think I got it.
The gears are grinding in my head.
All right, we're going to go at it. One is very heavy, and the other is a little lighter.
Oh, geez.
Should have got that one.
That was a good one.
Oh, man. I would have never guessed that one for sure.
Why not?
Yeah.
So let's get into how you guys started in PDR and how all of it came together.
Well, I guess I'll probably start. So I got into the PDR late 90s. I've always been a car guy. Saw PDR and I was in, right? So raising these boys, they've always been little gearheads, racing dirt bikes and driving anything that had an engine. And, you know, when they got into their teens, they were just all over cars. So I tugged them to hailstorms with me, and they started doing R&I, and they just live, eat, and breathe PDR, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer for me, like always being into cars and kind of messing with stuff. I just had a huge opportunity, so I was like, pretty good idea to take that.
Yeah, it's just I was gonna say, yeah, it was the same thing for me. It's just such a cool job in general. I've always just wanted to do it ever since I was introduced to it, and getting to work with cars every day is just the best.
Yeah.
What were you doing before, Dominic?
I kind of grew up in the construction industry and always played with cars. You know, when I was real young, I started in a mechanic shop and ended up in a body shop. And like I said, I saw paintless dent repair and just worked at it, man. I just loved it. So kind of every aspect of automotive is what I played with.
That's cool.
Is PDR big in Canada? Or I mean, I know there's a lot of PDR techs. We've interviewed a few here, but like, is it like big out there for hailstorms or door dings or anything like that? Or
oh yeah, man, it's pretty heavy out here. Like it depends on which route you want to do, right? But there's tons of hail out here. There's lots of retail, and you know what, guys, man, like I've been doing this for over 20 years, and our customers nowadays, man, they like their cars more than the ones I had 20 years ago, right? Like,
You're right.
Like people buy cars and
they
pay
care
for them, man, for years, so they don't want them all messed up.
yeah.
So I remember, you know, when I first started, I was fixing cars for guys like my dad's age, and they bought cars to go to the grocery store. The only time they called us is when it needed to go to a collision shop.
Yeah.
So
now, is there a whole lot of wholesale out there, or is it mainly retail?
We do mainly retail and a lot of hail damage.
Okay.
So we do a ton of work for insurance companies. And our main gig is retail. Like we don't go to dealerships and do their door dents and stuff like that.
Okay.
Was that your mission from the beginning? Like, oh, I'm just gonna like stick to hail and like retail, or how did that start it?
Yeah, so you know what my mission was door dents, man. Like we would walk lots and count cars and bring them into the sales manager, the gig we all know too well, right? And you know, got called out to a hailstorm and
he gone.
And that's what happened.
Man, that was a bad storm.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, you know, like we kind of slowly got into doing hail damage repair, and then now our main gig is hail damage repair and retail. So we have a brick and mortar here in Alberta, and man, we're just having fun doing it, man.
That's so awesome. And like, so go ahead, Ryan.
Go ahead, bud.
No, I was just gonna say. So, I mean, you started doing hail. Like, were you traveling in the beginning, or did you straight up just like opened up a shop and like just started to bring the work in?
No, strictly travel, man. I'll tell you, a buddy of mine who got me into PDR called me, and he was in Medicine Hat, Alberta, working at a Chrysler store fixing cars. And this is before glue pulling, man. So he calls me. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "I don't know, what's up?" He's like, "Man, I landed this gig. You know, we got 150 Dodges to fix. You want to come help us?" And I'm like, "I've never even seen a hail car, man." So I fly there. I get out of the airport, and all these cars are pulling up to this airport, picking people up, and they're demolished, man. So
Wow,
I'm
really?
here's me, a door dent guy, and I'm a couple years in. So these guys pull up to pick me up, and I get in, and they see the worry on my face, and they're like, "Dom, relax, man. It'll be fine." And I'm like, "Dude, we're fixing these cars." You know. So that's how it started, man. And then you get that little piece, and then this guy calls you, and that guy calls you, and it's hard to get off the train.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did the retail shop come about? Were you kind of like, I need to slow down, I want to get my boys into it? Like, how did all that transpire?
Well, it started off with our off season. We always had a brick and mortar. Just people coming in, and the longer we stayed in business, the more people were coming to our shop, and we're like, I guess we're doing this now, you know?
Yeah, now we have to be there because we have huge customer base and stuff now. So.
Yeah. It's like, I'm sure it happens. Like, you leave and then bam, someone shows up.
Oh yeah. It's to the point now we have to run both at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad problem.
No, it works out really good.
It's good problems. So you travel, you went out to do hail, you got a taste of it, you liked it. Did you go back home, or how long did you stay out there? Like,
yeah, you know what, man? My boys were real small at the time. These two little punks here were, 6, 8 years old. I couldn't be away that long, man. I would work 2-3 weeks, come home for a couple weeks, work 2-3 weeks, and then when the gig got light, I would just leave, right? Like, I just wanted to make sure I was there for these guys, right?
Yeah, we keep hearing that's one of the toughest part of, like, being on the road doing hail, right? Like, it's beautiful, great money and all that. That's one tough part,
Oh, it is.
Behind.
It is. You know what, Manny? Ryan, I'm lucky, man. I get to work with these guys, man. It's a dream come true, man. Like, even when I'm away doing hail, I got my boys with me, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah,
now,
definitely living the dream.
Now, out of both of you, which one's older?
I'm the older one.
So did you learn first and then Brandon, or was it vice versa?
I've known PDR a bit longer than Brandon. Yeah, like I've been learning for a while now. So like I'm like 2 years older than Brandon, and then I think I was probably around 18, and now I'm 26. So it's been quite a while for me. I actually not sure. Start again.
Somebody's at the front door.
Who's that? Say that again, Jake. I don't think we heard you.
Oh, I was saying, and Brandon, how long have you been doing it now?
For probably just about a year of field time. So
yeah, I guess I started a lot earlier than him.
Okay.
I'm gonna intervene here, guys. Actually, I'm gonna give anyone listening some advice if you're trying to train your youngsters, man.
Go ahead.
I tried everything to get these guys pushing dents when they were 15 and 16 years old, man. They didn't want to do it as much. Like, they'd come to work, they'd go to work, but we all know how hard it is to learn how to do this, right?
Yeah.
And it was just easier for them to trim cars and sweep the shop and do paperwork. I found when they hit about 20 years old, they were looking for careers and were like begging to do PDR. So if you're teaching your young guy and they're giving you grief, man, just lay off and give them a chance in a few years. All 4 of my boys were the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's honestly like, it's like your maturity level. Like you just hit a certain age and you kind of regret. Like I regret not starting right out of high school, like doing PDR. I would have been so much further ahead. It was so hard. And I was like, oh, I don't need to do this yet. I'll wait. And now I'm kicking myself. I should have just done it. Like anyone who's feeling that way, they should just do it.
Yeah. What were you trying to do, Brendan? Or what were you trying to go into?
Well, I was trying to do PDR. It's just I was stuck in that loop of like doing R9. It was easier and you know, like just being immature about it. And then eventually I realized like, hey, it's time now. You know.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get good. It's just like you obviously know how hard it can be. And when you're young, it's like you just got to get past that.
It's a grind. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, it's a lifestyle, man.
You got to have everything into it.
It's that mental and physical grind. You know what I mean? You're like, why the hell can't I see my tip? I'm all over it. I see the metal moving. You look over and you're like, holy shit, I'm nowhere near the dent. You know what I mean? So
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dominic,
everyone's been there.
Let me take you back a little bit. So, you know, you were traveling, you were going back home, you were traveling. How long did you travel out for before you actually, like, you know, set it into the shop?
You know what? Years, man. Years. I'd say about six or 7 years ago, we opened the retail shop full time.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and we're still traveling. Like, don't get me wrong. We're still going to where the hail is and stuff. We're just making time. We're making more time now for our shop and weekends. And like when I was their age, man, we worked from Sunday to Sunday, 8 in the morning till 9 at night. Like I can't even believe the amount of hours we put in. Everyone doing hail thinks they're getting rich and they're just not seeing the hours they're putting in.
Yeah.
I mean, it pays good, but you're working for it, man.
Yeah. Brendan, how old are you? And Jake, how old are you?
I'm
26.
I'm 24.
Okay. So, you know, so Dominic, was it when you opened up the shop that you started bringing the kids over and you started having them do things, or were you taking them with you when you were traveling?
Both.
Really?
Both. Okay. Yeah, man. When I started training them to do PDR, I was kind of, I don't know, they'd probably call me a hard ass. Everything like Jacob, when Jacob was working, he's like, man, I hate sides. Like he wanted to do the roof. And I'm like, you're doing sides all year. Brandon's like, I don't like rails. I'm like, you're doing rails. Right?
So did you take both of them, or did Jake go first and Brendan didn't want to go?
Depending. I usually try to take both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Right.
That's cool.
That's awesome, man.
You know, what's your end game? You know, do you sit back and you're like, man, I think we're just going to kind of settle in at the retail shop, or you plan on just keep doing some traveling hail stuff?
You know what? I think I'm going to keep it where it's at. You know, me and the boys have talked about it. As much as I don't love being away from home. I like fixing hail cars too, right? Like,
oh yeah, nothing really beats it for the most part.
Now, are you guys coming into the States, or are you just staying in Canada?
No, we're just staying in Canada.
Okay.
Yeah. I've thought about it. But
there's probably like not a need. I mean, it sounds like there's enough work out
there.
Yeah, that's the main thing why we haven't really went to the U.S. is just we're so busy with what we got going on.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have done it for the experience, or even the boys, but if they take off on us, then we need them.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Jake, Brendan, so tell me, how was it getting trained by Dominic? I mean, I'm sure it's one side knowing that he's your dad, and another thing knowing that, like, okay, he's trying to teach you, you know, the boss. How was that? How was it for you, Jake?
Well, we definitely like, I would say I gave him a hard time, probably more than I should have. But he also kept me in line too, right? Like, told me all the things that I should know. And I mean, he basically gave me all his knowledge that he could. It took him 20 years to gain. And then,
Yeah.
so like within a couple years, he had me doing things that like, there's no way I could have done that on my own.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, like, I mean, he was definitely hard on me, but I mean, there was lots of good times. And I mean, it was definitely a great place to try and learn PDR, I would say.
It's that tough love.
Yeah.
You got it.
And then, I mean, after a few years of doing PDR and stuff like that, now it's just like second nature to me. So I really enjoy it.
What do you enjoy the most of? Do you enjoy the hail cars? Do you enjoy smashes? Do you enjoy when you come to work? You're like,
mostly I like doing hail work and traveling around. I get to
Okay.
see like a lot of different places, and I don't know, I really like the way hail cars, I just like fixing them. I've done it a lot. And then I still don't mind when there's like bigger hits and stuff like that. That's more like kind of what we get into at our retail shop. So, I mean, I don't know, both sides to it, like I would say are really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wouldn't really want to not be doing one or the other type thing.
a good
Yeah.
mix.
Just whatever comes in. That's cool.
And
Brandon,
it changes things up too, right? So that's another thing. I'm not always doing the same thing every day.
yeah, that's I always tell my clients that one of the beauty things about our industry is that like it's never the same. You know?
Yeah.
I had a client today earlier, just like, an aluminum tailgate, just like, oh, show me another aluminum panel of a BMW they worked on. I'm like, as many BMW aluminum panels I worked on, there's nothing compared to this. Like every dent, every part is just different. You cannot compare them.
You love when the customer calls you. They're like, I had the same exact dent that you fixed last time. And I'm like,
No, you don't. So Brendan, how was training for you?
It was good. Like, obviously it could be hard too, like, cause he's your dad and you kind of go home and he's your boss and your dad. But like, honestly, he taught me so much, and like, he cares the most about making us like as best as possible. Like, at least I know I got the best training I could have possibly ever gotten, and I would never take that back ever.
That's awesome. How long did it take each of you to like really like be on your own, where like he could step away and like do whatever and you guys could actually finish a panel?
For me, I don't know, like I would say after about a year of working, I could get panels done where it wouldn't be like, oh, let's make sure, check it over, and like I could kind of take care of whatever I was doing myself. But it would still take me a while to get through like something that had a lot of damage on it. But at least at that point, I could make sure that it was good to go.
Yeah.
For you, Brendan?
Yeah, I'd say about a year-ish, and like now I'm able to. I can finish panels, and I'm not stuck on like random things, and like I don't always need to go get help, and like I can actually get through things. Obviously, there's stuff that's harder, but essentially it's pretty smooth now.
Yeah.
Still like.
Well,
You know what?
the car, Brandon fixed a hood and a deck lid on a hail car while I was working on the rest of it. So, I mean, that's not bad. That only took you like maybe 4 hours or something like that, 5 hours for both panels.
You know what? I'm going to interrupt here. You know what I did to these guys that really got them to the next level, in my opinion? We'd get like a retail job in, and it was like, a dent that would need serious experience. I would get it to 85% and be like, hey, I got to get on a phone call. Brandon, do you want to finish this off? And I'd just go outside and call the wife and do whatever. And I'd come back, man, and they were finishing the dents. And I'm like, it just worked so good. Like that's where everyone struggles, is the very end, right?
10%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was just thinking in my head, like I could just imagine Jake and Brandon like working on the cars, like, hey, you better fix that load. Dad's gonna see it, you know.
You got it.
You know, now, do you guys, Brandon and Jake, do you kind of watch each other? So kind of like you look over, you're like, I think I'm close. And Brandon will come over and be like, I still see a little low over here. Do you guys work like that? You know, do you kind of cover each other?
We're always kind of checking over each other's stuff just because we don't want, well, no one wants anything to be missed. So yeah, usually like if I'm done a panel, at least one other tech kind of like looks it over, like nothing like trying to beam a light on it or nothing, but just making sure that everything looks good and nothing's missed. Because when you're doing a lot of dents, sometimes you could leave one like, and it happens, right?
Like
So.
even with door dents and stuff, like I'll finish it and I'll call like Jake over or my dad and I'll turn the light off or whatever. I'll tell them like pull it outside, look it all over. Like you just need those other set of eyes on there sometimes just to verify that you didn't miss nothing.
Yeah, when you're staring at that same panel for so long, it happens. The best tech, it happens. You know what I mean? It's like your eyes get tired. You know what I mean? You need some fresh eyes on that panel.
Yeah, someone to tell you messed up.
Yeah,
exactly.
So it's 4 of you guys. So the other 2 that are in the shop working are the other 2 brothers.
Yeah. So my youngest isn't doing dents yet. He's just helping with trim and polishing the odd dent here and there. The second youngest is just started training.
Oh, wow. Okay. How old are they?
How old is Justin and Nathan? Justin's 19 and Nathan
he's 20 right now.
Yeah.
21 in a little like 10 days or something like that.
Oh man.
Or no, next month.
Yeah.
I hope the wife wasn't watching this, Dominic.
I could see Manny's face. He was like,
my wife would have been texting me right now, like, what's wrong?
No, yeah, you know what, man? We're pretty lucky. My wife is really supportive. She's always supported my career, and I think she's pretty happy that we're all working together.
That's cool.
Yeah, how was that conversation like when you thought, you know, I'm going to bring the kids to do PDR?
You know what? My wife thought it was really cool. It wasn't even a problem at all. It was like, man, if once you get to know these guys, man, you'll understand what I mean. Like these guys finish work, go home, and stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning putting superchargers and stuff in their car.
Yeah, literally.
These guys are. I don't know what it is with them in cars, man. They like it. They like cars more than me, man. I like cars. Don't get me wrong, but these guys are like supercar freaks, man.
Yeah,
really. Who's the drifter?
Yeah.
Who's the drifter? Brandon?
That's me, yeah.
Okay.
And Nathan.
Okay. Little drifters there. That's cool. What kind of drift car do you have?
It's a 92 Ford Mustang 5-liter.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at
that. Good for drifting for sure.
Yeah. 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 A friend of mine, Vaughn Gidden Jr., he's from Maryland, so I'm sure you know who he is.
Oh yeah.
He's the Mustang drifting king. So
yeah, good buddy.
How did you get your other 2 sons started, Dominic? Did they just like follow the 2 older brothers doing it, or did you have to like push them into it? How did that go?
No, I didn't have to push them into it. They wanted to start making some money, so I tugged them along here and there, giving them jobs, right? And I always give them opportunities too. Like I'm like, man, if this isn't for you, you know, you don't. I don't want them to feel obligated that they have to work for PDR Canada or my business that I created, right? And so far, man, it's just really looking like everything's clicking, right? So.
Do you think they're kind of learned from Brandon's track? You know what I mean? Where he kind of was slow on learning. They're like, he took a while. So they're kind of trying to get in under him and just grow faster.
You know what? I personally think that's not helping them. I think it's an age thing. I think once these guys hit 19, 20 years old, like 21 years old, they have a different mentality. At least with my 4 boys.
Yeah.
Because I remember when they were 16 and I'm trying to show them how to see the tool on a hood, on a hail hood, and they're like, their phone's going off and their friends are messaging them and they're not paying attention. I'm like, dude, if I would have known how to do this when I was your age right now, I wouldn't be working today.
Yeah.
Like but you couldn't get it through their head. Like it's like they hit 19, 20 years old, and all of a sudden they're like, yeah, I'm ready. Like that's what happened to me 4 times.
It doesn't matter. I stress to them. I'm like, listen, guys, like you have to put your head into it. Like you got to do it. It's worth it. Don't waste your time. I'm kicking myself. I should have started earlier, but it's an age thing, like a maturity thing, right?
Yeah.
It'll come.
Yeah.
Now Josh is asking, do you guys have any other techs that work for you, or is it just family?
Yeah, so we do have other techs, but it's on a subcontractor basis. So we have local technicians and some out of a different provinces and stuff. Then when things really get spicy, we kind of all share the workload. So
that's cool.
So we'll hire subcontractors.
That's cool. Now you guys also had like a event there. Was it 2019? Like like all the guys
PDR
came
Repair
up.
Secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That looked like a cool
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
event.
I enjoyed that a lot.
The other thing I've enjoyed is like on your Instagram page, you have a very unique way of doing kind of frequently asked questions. You know what I mean? Like your quick little clips of the window guard and the wedge, or, you know, knocking down on PPF, or, you know, you guys all have kind of a unique, you know, when you start the camera, you guys look shy, and then it's like, bam, let me get the information out. And you guys do a really good job. So I just thought it just a unique style.
Yeah. And you know what? I think the boys are pretty natural that way. I think they've got their heart in this game, and I can almost see it in these videos. Right. So, and we're trying to show the public how this stuff's done. Like, I don't know how many times I've had a customer pull up with a vehicle, and we don't have room in the shop, right? So I'm like, it's a small little gravy dent, and I'm like, let me go get my my window wedge and stuff and see if I can get a tool on this so I can fix it out here for you. So I go inside, grab my window wedge, throw it in, put my light, set up my little ding board or my light, and I'll get my tool on it. And then I'm like, yeah, I can get my tool on it. And they're like, okay, fix it. You know what I mean? So we're giving customers an idea of how we do this, because man, a lot of people, they understand PDR, but they don't understand what we're doing. Like the classic, so where's the machine that sucks them out?
Yes.
You know,
I can't even.
Yeah.
Use that sucking machine. You know, and you're like, dude, I've been doing this 23 years. I said, when you find one of them, we're going to be rich.
Yes. So yeah, it just informs people on how and it shows them how gentle we're being with the vehicle, so that if they're having second thoughts on PDR, we're hoping they're just going to come in, right? Yeah.
And back in the day, you can Dominic, you can relate. Back in the day, this was a hidden thing. We didn't share. Everything was hidden. Yep. So now it's kind of like everything's out there, and you know, they sell those little pops of dent things on Amazon and all the stores, and everybody thinks it's easy. So we get a lot of that. Hey, I tried this myself, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you know, they just need the tools.
Yeah,
that's all they need.
I know, like I may not even have told Jacob and Brandon this story, but early in my career, I remember I used to do a dealership that kind of shared the work with Dent Wizard. So I remember going into the back shop, and you remember the science fair boards we used to get in elementary school? They had a guy had 3 or 4 of those set up fixing dents in the corner. And I thought to myself, man, like, I don't know how he thinks someone's going to learn how to do this by watching, because I knew how hard it was, how I was still struggling with repairing dents. It was early in my career, but yeah, man, they used to hide themselves in the corner when they'd go to a dealership.
That was me. Back in the day. I mean, 23 years ago, you know, we used to hide. You weren't allowed to show, and you'd be all the way off in the corner. Your truck would block you, and you'd be working. Somebody come up, you put all your tools away, and you would look around. This is a secret. You can't watch me.
Yeah. So I came in just after that.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how the industry has changed. It's really good. You know what I mean? You look at it as the evolving of the industry.
Yeah.
You have young guys like you guys that are learning faster.
Oh yeah.
Because technology's there, the information's there. Back in the day, we didn't have that.
Yeah.
You know, like I have a young guy that just started with us. I mean, he's only been pushing since 2018, and he pushes so clean. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, I was cracking paint and, sanding and polishing everything at that point. So, you know, it's cool to watch the younger guys take the technology and all the videos and stuff that are out on YouTube and Facebook and really absorb it and grow faster. It's kind of scary that the young guys are picking it up so fast.
Yeah, no, I know you're right, man. They're working for it, but it is coming
Yeah.
quick. Just the lighting's better, everything's better, and like even what we're doing tonight on this live show. Like, can you imagine if this was around when we were learning? Like, oh, there wasn't even a YouTube around like when I started.
Yeah. What was it for you? I mean, since you've been on it for so long, Dominic, what did the industry came along all that time that really took you to that next level? Was it the tools? Was it when the lighting came in? Like what, you know, if you could go back and look at, you know, those transitions, what was it that like, you were like, man, like.
Well, I can tell you first, that's a great question, by the way. First, I think it was lighting, not using a ding board, like using, like the fluorescent lighting, not the LED strips.
So tell me that story real quick. How did you find your first lighting? Like,
man, when that story I told you earlier, going to Medicine Hat, Alberta, I showed up there with a mini light, and these guys had like there was some guys there with these big hail lights. I'm like, whoa, I've never seen anything like that before in my life. Yeah, man, let's set it up on the panel and start fixing. And at first, my eyes were a bit crossed. I'm like, man, what are we looking for? Like. Yeah, man, that was a game changer. And glue pulling, man.
Yeah.
Glue pulling changed things huge.
Yeah. Yeah,
Then,
I agree.
Then I'd say after glue pulling, sharp tools.
Yeah.
For
now,
me,
what is your guys' go-to glue?
I'm really liking that amber tequila stuff.
Okay.
I like it really well, really good. And I don't know, Jake, what are you thinking?
Well, we order black glue off Amazon, like not even sure exactly what brand it would be, but actually it seems to be working really good for me. So I've been using that a lot.
Cold glue. Cold glue for hail, man.
Yeah, that cold
glue
glue
is
is sweet
stuff.
on hail.
Oh, for hell. What
As
cold
long
glue
as
are you
it's
using?
the right size types of dent. So
Right. What cold glue are you using?
I'm pretty sure we're using what are we using, Jake? Is it Glexo?
yeah, and we've had that it's been a few years now, so it's been working good for us.
Okay. That's awesome, man. So you know, you guys walk up to a hail card, you know, do you guys split? Okay, I'm doing this, you're doing that, or how do you guys split you know, a hail card?
That's exactly what we do. So they'll get in there, trim it quick, hood comes off, goes onto a hood stand. I usually grab the hood. Brandon's on sides because he's a beginner and give him the hardest part. And Jacob's on the rails, and then as soon as somebody gets done, they just move to the next available panel.
And every car will change it up too, so it all depends.
James Bernard's asking Molson or Labatt's. I don't know what either one of those are.
Beer.
That's beer he's talking about.
Gotcha. What is it? Canadian beer?
Yeah, I guess so.
So Dominic, so MTE, let's talk a little bit about MTE. So when did you start going into MTE?
I'd say the first time I ever went to MTE was probably about 5 years ago. 5 years ago. And it was an eye-opener, man. I can't believe I didn't go before. I always knew about it. Didn't think it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Until I went. And then when I saw what was going on over there and how much new stuff and how many cool people and how many great conversations I was in, man. During COVID, we couldn't go. It was, you know what that was like. Nobody was, even when they opened the borders up, we were afraid no one would be there.
Yeah.
So this season was the first one we've been to in a couple years, and man, it was nice. It's nice to be back.
I didn't even see you guys. That's the problem with MT is it's It's like a whirlwind. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
tough
holy
to
shit.
catch everyone. That's for sure.
There's just so many people and so much going on. Like you're literally talking to someone every 5 seconds. Like you
Yeah.
finish talking, you walk 5 minutes, and then there's someone else, and it's like, okay. It's good though.
You know how I met Brandon?
Yeah.
In the bathroom.
Yeah, literally.
Really?
Right at the end.
Nice.
And don't think wrong.
Bathroom diaries over here.
But yeah, just walking out of the restroom was just like, hey man, you know, I just saw PDR Cannon. I was like, dude, sick. I'm like, PDR Cannon, like, you know. And then we just started talking, but you know, that was cool. Yeah, you know, MT is so huge. There's so much going on that like, you know, there's so many texts and just like you're always missing someone, you know. And Brandon, by the way, Vince says that you have a great mustache. No, let me say that right. He says Brandon has the best mustache ever.
And then Gray Duck, the Dent Reaper, is asking, have you ever been to Anson Open House?
No, I have seen tidbits of it, and it looks like quite a place, man.
It's a good time. It is a good time. It's a extremely family event. You know what I mean? The Anson family really kind of brings you in, and just it's a nice event.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. So Dominic, did you mention you guys have one shop or two shops?
We have one. We did have two for a little bit, so now we're down to one, just because I don't want to micromanage all these different locations. So this is where we're comfortable. Maybe in the future we'll change that up a bit, but right now, man, like we're having troubles keeping up with what we got happening.
Really?
Yeah. Like you know as well as I do, you need to be qualified to fix these cars, man. So like I don't want to leave on a hailstorm and put somebody in my shop that can't do half the repairs either. So, you know, you start having 2 and 3 shops. All it takes is one of your shops to start not doing good work, and it could ruin you, man.
Yeah.
Now,
is it easier or harder to manage your shop? The fact that they're your kids. I mean, they're your sons.
I think it's easier, to be honest with you. They're my boys. I've had lots of youngsters working for me and stuff that were non-family members. And nowadays, man, you got to be careful with the younger kids, man. You say the wrong thing and you can get yourself in trouble. I've never been in that situation, but all I'm saying is with these kids, they respect me, man.
They've got your back.
Yeah. And if let's just say like, hey, man, we're men and we work together all the time and there's a blowout in the shop, there's no hard feelings. They're my boys.
Yeah.
They love me, man. I think.
Oh,
I hope.
Now, Jake, Brendan, has it ever been any time where, you know, Dominic finish up, you know, a panel and you guys go back and it's like, oh, look, he didn't do this right, or, you know, let me fix this for him?
Well, there's like maybe a few times he's missed some stuff, just like everyone. It all depends on the situation. Like if he's not around and I notice a dent on a hood or something, or I'll just fix it, or if he's around, I'll just wait and be like, hey, there's one missed one, but never like try and pick it apart. Maybe if he's hard on my repairs a bit, then I might try and
and that was
for some of his, but
and that's the whole reason why I was asking, because we all miss something, right? But I was just going to say, do you go back and like give him a hard time on it?
Depends how I'm feeling.
You know what? You know what, guys? I'm guilty of that. I'm pretty hard on them that way. So like if they've done a nasty door dent and I can see a wiggle from across the shop, I'm like, I can still see it. Put your light back. And then they give me the shit. Then they give me the crappy look, and then I'm like, "That's where you're at. Like, you gotta do your best, man." You know what I mean?
And I tell you, that is the worst thing you could ever hear, like from anyone. You know, you finish up a dent, and someone is just looking at you like, "Yeah, I still see it." Like,
sometimes you gotta hear it though.
Yeah.
You know, but Manny's right. Especially if it's hard, man, and you struggled the whole way to where you got it.
Yeah.
and you're like, you start putting your stuff away, and then someone's like, I don't know if that's gonna work.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I still have not forgotten at this last MTE for the tag team competition, the bedside. I don't know if you guys were a part of it, by the way. But on the bedside, I struggled with this dent, and I finally got it to where, like, okay, I think it looks okay. And then one of Ryan's guys, Mikey, he was, on the side, and then I look at him, and he's like,
and you got to get a little background though. Mikey was a 16-year auto body tech, so I know exactly what you guys are going through.
But it was also my fault because I never really pushed that light back, to see it from far. And I kept it really close, the whole time. But my whole part of that is just I didn't want it to crack the paint, dodge. And so, he was watching it from far, and he just gave me that look, and I was just like, man. So I'm telling you, it's the worst thing you could hear.
Oh yeah. No,
hey Manny, at least you don't have to work with him every day. So I get that every day. He's looking across the room and he's like, I'm like, what? He's like, you don't see that? And I'm like, you're 30 feet from me. No. What are you talking about?
Ryan, ask him if he's got a 30-foot pole.
To point at it.
That's a good one. You know what? We should do that. I need Manny's blending hammer. The other day I had a really bad dent on a quarter, and he's like, can I tell you something? You're not going to like it. I'm like, what's that? He goes, if you had Manny's 30-foot blending hammer, you could really knock this thing out. And I was like,
it's long, man.
Get out of here. I was like, I can't even see that far.
So let's talk about tools. What are you guys go-to tools? Do you guys share the same tools? Do you guys have different tools?
I have my own tool set that I use and tool cart and everything like that, and like same with Brandon and then my dad. And then we kind of share a lot of the tools too. Like if let's say something new comes out, you don't need to get 3 sets to see if you like it. And you don't really always need 3 sets either. So yeah, a lot of the times we'll share tools or trade stuff out or borrow off each other's carts. So
usually my dad's cart is the go-to cart with all the cool trinkets.
Is it because it's like old school tools and like some of the good stuff, or is it because
just everything pretty much, all like old stuff, new stuff, and all like lots of different things. So usually we're picking stuff off there.
Now you guys more of an Ultra, a Dentcraft, a A1. What do you guys?
We're kind of like everything. Like there's all those brands are on the cart. So
okay.
Yeah, we're always trying new stuff. Different tools I find work good in some brands and others. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of just a big mix.
Yeah, we're really, really, really loving the Reapers, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like we bought 1 set, and then it's like, okay, 3 sets. Like
yeah, I use that a lot.
It's the go-to for sure.
They're okay. I could already see John's face, like, oh man.
I can hear him right now. He's gonna call tomorrow and be like, bro.
He probably got up from his seat too. We love you, John. Great tools, man.
Joshua's asking, do you feel like you have to pay them more because of your kids? He had a boss that paid his kids, even though they had more money, even though they had less skills.
Actually, I'm a complete opposite. I knew these guys were in. Like I knew these guys were in, and I didn't want our subcontractors and people that work for us and like newly meet my family on hailstorms to think that I had spoiled kids. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. My boys worked early, worked late, got paid the least amount out of everyone, and it wasn't to punish them. I didn't want them spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I wish my wife could hear this.
And it works.
No, because it's huge.
It's not like you need $1 million when you're young anyways, and you're still trying to learn a trade and get it mastered, right? So
and I wouldn't let
all
them
out
right away either, guys. I wanted them to understand everything about our business before they started working on dents, man.
Yep.
Yeah, like we learned everything from the bottom, like every aspect of the business, all the way until then we were allowed to fix dents.
That is awesome. I always say it, hard work pays off, you know, and I think that's what's bad about the world right now, that a lot of young guys want to come in and start making the big bucks, and everyone's forgetting about putting in the hard work.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, and that's awesome. I you know, my hat's to you, Dominic. You know, that's great.
You know
man.
what? You know what, Manny? In my life experience, your experience will get, then you'll start making bigger dollars.
Yeah.
If you're making bigger dollars and you've come across them honestly, it's because you have the experience.
Yeah.
It ain't free.
No,
You're good at what you do because you put your time in.
And it's a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? I look at it too as some of these like accounts that we'll have, like, man, that only took you like 7 minutes and you're going to charge me $250. I got 23 years in this.
Yeah, it took you 23 years to do that.
So it's got that double-edged sword on that. You know, you're totally right in what you're saying, but it's tough sometimes. You know,
I hear you, bro. I know exactly what you mean. But a good customer will say that, but still love you.
Yeah. Or you're like, man, I can't believe you got it done. I'm glad I'm out of here early. You know, you get it's kind of one or the other.
Some people like it.
I had a client tell me the other day, he says, well, because you've been doing it for so long, it should be cheaper.
Yeah, right.
I couldn't even answer. I laughed and I walked away. I was like, there's just something wrong with you. Now, was there any tools that you guys picked out from MTE that you guys are like really happy of getting, or?
Yes, actually, those weights that you got, Jake.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the hammer weights.
Tools. I've been using that on my blending hammer for the last couple weeks. Well, however long it's been since MTE.
Wait,
so
what are we talking
like
about?
that.
Dave Streen, he's got these little weights that you screw onto the tip of your hammer. Like they're different ounces, and it's to heavy up, like balance your hammer out more, or add a bit.
Oh, I see.
Basically, I screwed one onto a few hammers that I was kind of struggling to blend with, and it changed the hammer.
Yeah, it just gives you a different feel. So
yeah. I get it, because I'm huge on that weight, on that balance. Now, talking about blending hammers, what are your go-to blending hammers?
For me, I use the Drew's Tool one. I've kind of used it all around for everything.
Wooden or carbon?
Carbon on mine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's been a great blending hammer. You know, I mean, both the wood and the carbon for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I've used it for a while and I like it. So probably.
How about you, Brendan?
It up.
I also have a Drew's Tool carbon hammer, which I kind of use for both. Same as Jake.
That's cool.
Dominic, what's?
Well, I'm back and forth between lots of them, to be honest with you, man. I love them all, and I'll ride one for 3 or 4 months, then I'll change it up and ride another one. But I just got a new one from A1. It's a little shorty. It's a red one. Did you guys see it there?
I think it's their one that they make, right?
Yeah, man. It is I love it. Me personally, I've been sporting that since MTE.
Okay. What else did you guys get there?
What else did we get?
I think I got a head for my hammer, but
we got it's the Carbon Tech magnetic light thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
for your light head. What's that called exactly?
Oh, the Never Loose.
Yeah.
That's been pretty nice. Like when we've been packing up to leave or whatever, it just comes right off. And adjustability and stuff like that seems to work really nice. So that's been a pretty cool thing that we picked up there.
That's awesome. I was going to ask for like your shop. What do you guys do for marketing?
For marketing, it's Facebook, Instagram, and the rest is pretty much word of mouth. Unless I'm missing something.
Well, and Google too. We have a Google and the reviews and stuff like that. So we get lots of people coming in from that.
That's
But
good.
you've also had the shop for how long? 6 years, you said?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this shop probably about 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, and that on its own creates so much. So
Organic.
much.
Yeah, just repeat customers and word of mouth, and it gets around for sure.
Now, is it like in a main area? Is it on off the main road? Is it kind of hidden?
No, we're not kind of hidden. We're actually in a pretty good area. We're in a plaza where
Okay.
there's stuff happening. So we got like
Okay.
a quick lube in the plaza. There's a bowling alley, a butcher shop. So there's a bottle depot. So like in Alberta here, we return our pop cans and bottles for money, right?
Yeah.
Can't believe it. We
yeah.
used to do that back in the day.
Yeah, I remember when we were kids, everything was returnable. Yeah, but so here everything is returnable. Man. Water bottle, a beer bottle, a wine bottle, a milk jug, like a milk carton. They'll give you money for, right? So, anyways, our parking lot's full all the time.
That's
cool.
the best place to have a PDR shop, just in a plaza. You
Yeah,
know?
lots of
I
traffic.
mean, even if people cannot see your sign, they will hear your blending.
Oh yeah,
It's just that on its own. It's gonna catch people's eyes or ears, whatever. That's awesome. That's a great place to be. Dominic, it sounds like you're living the dream, man. You got your boys working with you. You've done good in life. You got it. What would you like to see happen in the future now that you got your boys with you grinding?
you know what, man? I just want these guys to be happy. I want them to continue to grow the business and keep an eye on what's happening, man, and move with changes. That's the biggest thing with our industry, man. It's us being able to do what we're doing tonight here and talking to guys and learning new ways to fix cars and new ways to find new revenue. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be about PDR, man. It could be polishing, ceramic coating, new coatings, tire shines, like headlight renewal, like every aspect of running a reconditioning shop. Really, I love, to be honest with you. Yeah. And I'm hoping that these guys are going to take it to the next level, right?
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing in our business is you need to adapt. We get set in our ways and we're like, okay, Google's working or Facebook ads are working. And we're like, keep working it. But then it starts to slow down and you're like, why? Yeah. Or business slows down. Why is business slowing down? You always have to adapt with times. And I think a lot of us have learned that because of COVID.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? COVID changed everything. A lot of the businesses that went out of business didn't adapt during the times. You had to adapt to survive in any industry that you were in.
Oh yeah, there's lots of change for sure.
But I think that's the biggest thing is just being able to adapt on the fly.
Yep.
Yeah. And for any dads out there that are thinking about bringing in their kids on board to do PDR, what would you word of advice would be, Dominic?
Well, like I said before, guys, I thought it was a lost cause when they were 16 and 17 years old. Like, I really felt that they just weren't into it. And I'm like, okay, well, what are you going to do? And I forgot what it was like to be 17. Mm-hmm. I almost feel like I matured quicker, but I know I didn't. I just think I did. Because I'm basically saying, if you're giving them a shot at 16 and 17 years old and it's not working, don't give up, man. Because I'm telling you, all these boys didn't really kick it into high gear until they got into their 20s.
Yep.
Makes sense.
And now, man, it's like clockwork. Like we fixed a hail cart today, man. So we went to the shop, we unloaded our tools. No one had to say anything. The car got stripped down, the hood came off. Everyone just went to work on the panels, and we fixed the cars.
Pack the van home.
Cool.
When they're 17, they're in the bathroom for longer than they should. You find them sleeping in a car. They're out all weekend.
Yeah,
like they're boys, man.
Yeah.
One tip to the PDR industry that you guys can give to help any of these guys that are watching, what would it be?
Give it your all. Don't give up.
I would say like a good tip is if you're struggling with something, it doesn't hurt to take like even like a 5-minute break sometimes. Go look at Facebook, maybe talk to some people, and then go back to it. You'll probably see what you didn't see 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of people probably already do that, but in case you aren't, I don't think that's too bad of a tip.
Yeah.
For extreme beginners, guys that are really just learning and they're in their first month, if you get to a point with the dent where you're not getting anywhere and you don't know what to do next, it's because there's something you can't see. Move your light, change your angle, cross check it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cross checking. It's important. Go ahead.
Oh, and I was gonna say also for beginners is when you're having troubles finishing the dent or fixing that dent, never move on to the next dent. Always fix that one, finish that one, because you'll end up with it at the end, or you might not even see it, or you'll forget about it, and it's a problem.
Yeah.
Always finish it before you move on.
Yeah.
At least in a hail perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, because you could sometimes even create more work for yourself, right? I mean, you move on a panel, finish it, and you're almost on packing up, and it's like, gotta go back to that one thing you passed on.
100%.
Yeah. For anyone that doesn't follow you guys or don't know about you guys, how can they find you on social media to be a part of the PDR Canada?
Well, Instagram should be PDR Canada, and same with Facebook. And on the TikTok, I think if you search PDR Canada, it should show up.
And then PDR Repair Secrets, we try to post on there a lot.
Oh yeah,
as well.
Brendan was telling me about that. You guys got a thing going on, right, on Facebook? A group?
Yeah, Facebook group.
Okay.
Yeah, check it out. It's PDR Repair Secrets. It's actually a pretty decent group, man. I'd like to get some more guys, some more people in general on there.
Okay.
Yeah. So give it a peep there.
So Facebook PDR Secrets. What is it again, Dominic?
PDR Repair Secrets.
PDR Repair Secrets
Facebook
on Facebook. Group. Okay. Nice. Awesome. We really appreciate you guys coming on, man. We were trying to get you guys on 3 weeks ago, but there was another show that you guys were going to be on. How bad was that, by the way? Nah, just kidding.
Had to be tough. It had to be tough.
It was a tough show, guys.
I got Andy hyped up right now. Like, what did you just say?
Oh yeah,
we love you, Andy.
Man, those guys are great, man. Those guys are great, and same with you guys, man. We're blessed to have the opportunity to be on your show. We're blessed.
Thanks for having us.
To be able to be on the Ginger Brothers show. I love meeting guys with the same passion that we have, man.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, same thing here. This is what we love to do it because, we love the community. We love all the techs are out there, and it's just like, what's amazing is just everyone has a story, and it's we love hearing them all, and we really appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you so much.
And the Dent Reaper says, buy more tools.
Hopefully one day we could get the other two brothers on and hear their stories too about how easy or hard it was getting trained by Dominic.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, guys? I never heard this feedback before from my own boys until we got on these shows, right? And I feel like I'm in the background watching this show when I hear these boys talking, man.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good. And yeah, they don't tell me this stuff.
No, it's nice to get a little bit of feedback and feel good that you've been so hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Dominic, however you did it, whatever it took, it looks like you did an awesome job, man, training your boys to getting them on the PDR career. And congratulations to you, man. I could only imagine the, what that feels like. Must be a joy of some happiness in your heart that is just like unexplainable.
Right here, bro. I love it.
And the pressure, you know what I mean? The pressure of trying to get them to do the right thing.
Yeah, you got it, man.
And Jake and Brendan, sorry to hear that you got to train by your dad. Not just kidding. I'm sure that wasn't easy, but for the best of you guys. So yeah, guys, congratulations and best wishes to you and your families and your business.
Definitely.
And yeah, can't wait to see you guys at MTE next year.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, for
sure,
sure.
man. It's going to be awesome.
That is,
Yeah.
hey, Dominic.
You guys going to do the Vegas one?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're probably going to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
awesome.
Cool. It's going to be a different show, but I think it'll be good. It's not like Orlando. Even the old Vegas one wasn't like Orlando, but it's kind of nice to have a little change. You know what I mean? So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Any of you guys trying out for the Olympics to beat Manny's ass?
I don't think so.
Look at Dominic. He's like, not a chance.
You're brave, man.
You're thinking about it, Dominic. I see it in
Maybe.
you.
No, man. You're brave, man.
Nah, it's just it's for fun, you know. And it honestly, the biggest part is that there's always something to learn from, and even win or lose is just like you're always learning something. So that's what I love about it, you know. And then Anson Open House May 6th. So
Yeah, that would be something that'd be sweet to go to as well.
yep. Awesome. Well, thank you guys again. It's been a pleasure having you guys in the show and listening to your story. Like I said, best wishes to you, and thank you for coming on.
Right
Yeah,
on,
thanks,
I
guys.
appreciate it, guys.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
And guys
Thanks,
that are
Jake,
watching, go
Dominic.
follow them. Like I said, they've got a really, really unique style on their little snippet, videos. So check them out.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have a great night.
Yeah, see ya.
See
Thanks,
you
guys.
Thank
See
you.
See you, Dominic.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
That was a
I
good
could
show.
only just,
Good story.
my 6-year-old told me the other day, she's like, Daddy, when I grow up, I'm going to go work with you. I tell you, Ryan, just listening to that, like, it just felt so good in the heart. Of course, we would want them to be, the best ever they could be in life. But like Dominic said, it's just like, you got to let them try to see what it is that they could grow in,
And it's like he said, I believe 100% what he said about the age. You know what I mean? You have to have a little bit of maturity because this is so hard.
Yeah.
You
you got to understand them to, why they are how they are in their age. Sometimes like we grow so fast on our own that we forget that our kids are kids, man. They're not going to know and act like you do because they're just kids.
That's a problem I have. She's like, Ryan, she doesn't know. And I'm like, how does she not know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with them. You know what I mean? It's got to be really hard for the kids in the beginning working with their dad. You know what I mean? I could just imagine, the stress of, for one, in their head, man, I don't want to disappoint dad. But then on the other hand, I'm like, you need to back off. You know what I mean? So, but I think at the end, like Brandon said, why did I wait so long? Like why? And it's cool to see their younger sons kind of coming in a little earlier than they did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I asked if it was because Brandon sits there and says, look, I should have got in earlier. Listen to me. You know what I mean? A little bit of a role model end.
Right.
And it probably went that way with Jake too. Jake to Brandon and Brandon to the other younger ones. So it's kind of a cool dynamic. And I really enjoyed their little videos.
Another thing that I love about Dominic says, just like the paying part, right? Like he didn't start him up. Like any dad would want to pay his son, the most paid, right? But it's just like, no, that's eventually that could probably take them to something not good, or, you never know, right? But chances are that if you give them everything, they're just going to become spoiled. And the fact that he knew that he did the opposite, like, really taught them to work hard and grind. And, like I was saying earlier, I think that's one thing that, a lot of young guys in the world right now are missing, knowing that you got to work hard for stuff. I had someone asking me over the weekend, just like, oh, how many months does it take to learn PDR? It takes years, not just months or weeks. I mean, you can learn the basics or the fundamentals, but it really takes years.
Yeah.
And anyways, yeah, that was a great
And
story.
I want to thank everybody watching. Joshua, Tanya, Kyle Chase was in here, Alex, Jeff Hughes. There's a lot of really, people that are engaged in the show. So I appreciate everybody, the Dent Reaper, Bernard.
Yeah, John, Andy, I love you guys, man. It's all just love and jokes.
Steven, I mean, there's a lot of people in here that watch week after week. So I really appreciate the support, guys. I'm glad you're not going over to the Traders show. I see Joshua cheating on us every now and then, but it's okay. It's still love you, Joshua.
Yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys. And
we're coming for that golden mic. We're coming.
Yeah, yes we are. They should already start just putting our names on it. Just kidding.
Well, they had to rip it off this year.
Yeah.
That's why it had the Post-it note on there. They were like, we just got to be in a Here we go. It's going to the Jingle Bells.
But join us next week. We have another great show coming up.
Manny.
Ryan.
You have a fantastic. And if anybody doesn't know, I know Manny's wife mentioned it about the school thing for your daughter. I did get the messages. It's been a little bit of a overwhelming week for me. So.
Oh, no worries. She did get on my phone and texted everyone.
They're doing a little fundraiser for the school. So
school. I mean, and it doesn't just have to be mine. If you know of anyone that's doing fundraising for kids' school, just support, man. The way I see it is just you're just supporting the future.
Yep.
And whether the school has money or not, that is not your problem. Just
schools don't have money, man. It don't matter where it is. Schools
do your part and put in something. Every dollar counts, right? Thanks, Ryan.
Well, one more thing. You need to get with Cindy tonight and say Ryan's event's not on Easter week.
I'll get back to you on that. We were all over the calendar, and it was just like, something was happening. Anyways.
So. You have a good night, buddy. You guys,
thanks,
everybody
Ryan.
watching, keep it real, and we will see you next week.
You forgot to say
wash your damn hands. Be safe, and do the right thing.
There you go.
See you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you guys.